How are you getting on? Let's talk about complexity. We love complexity in B2B marketing, and there is a time and a place for it. Tools like marketing automation do allow for a level of scale and, to some degree, personalization that would be impossible without them in place. However, there is also complexity that we add into the process that does nothing but harm our chances of success. And I want to talk about the most damning one that I keep seeing: the way we follow up with demo request leads. Now, there's a load of reports on this. Chili Piper did a great one last year, but I want to give you a different one just to add more context. Harvard Business Review did a research report where they looked at over 1 million leads asking for demos across thousands of companies, B2B and B2C. And they looked at it across two real variables: how long it took to respond to those leads and what the outcomes were for those leads. And let's talk about the outcomes first, because they found that if you got to a lead within the first 30 minutes of them asking for that demo, your chances of success were 7 times greater. 7. Now, the average response time that they found to leads was about 42 hours. Hours. So how is there this delta between knowing that timeliness matters and then having no timeliness at all when it comes to those high value leads? And a lot of it comes down to complexity. We add complexity internally to solve internal problems that are not at the benefit of the audience. One great example of this is, whose lead is this? And sometimes it starts very simple. Well, if it's in this geo, it belongs to X. If it's in this region, it's Y. If it's this vertical, it's this person. But then it gets more and more complex, where you start to say, well, if it's an account that had an opportunity that existed in the past, that should go to that person, or if this and that, and all of these added layers of complexity just create delays before you can respond, because you have to find out who should respond. And then there's another layer that we add on, which is the qualification layer, which is the understandable layer of saying, I don't want junk. But then we put the audience through all of these hoops saying, well, we need you to fill out these extra forms to make sure we are going to take a demo with you, that you're worth our time. Or we put them through extra meetings in order to qualify them before handing them off to somebody. And all of it comes back to this: if you are adding complexity that comes not at the benefit of your audience, but at the expense of them, that is inexcusable. There is no reason why you should make it harder than it needs to be in order for your prospects to see the product, to know what the product costs, to even be followed up with by a salesperson. There's lots of complexity that is unavoidable, and some of it is hard to untangle. And yes, there are technological solutions that can be bought to solve some of those routing and allocation issues. But ultimately, it comes back to this: you have to have a mindset, more now than ever, that if someone wants to see your product, make it as easy and as low friction as possible for them to do so. Because if you don't, there are plenty of other people out there who will happily follow up with them quicker than you. And maybe those people deserve to win more.